You know, I was thinking about one regret I have about moving to Africa, okay? I have one single regret, and it's gonna shock you. You may not relate to it, or you may relate to it. You may be like, wow, you really think outside of the box. It's just something that I've been thinking of just probably the past 2 years. And I've had to make a few decisions to bypass this one regret. So, when you're moving to Africa, first let me give some context. We moved to Africa in 2020. We did not visit anywhere first. We went to Tanzania because it was the only country open at the time. We wanted to go to Ghana. We could not go to Ghana because Ghana was closed and we didn't want to wait till September, October. So we left in August. Okay, and now we're in a new African country that we share with our members only to get behind the scenes on that specific country. But I have one regret in all of this, that I didn't have the first 3 years in Africa, but just the last 2 years I've been thinking about this, and it's something that you should know about. Now, when we left, we actually had our own standard operating procedures due to my market research I was doing on the African continent since 2015. This was a very much planned, very strategic planning of like 4 years move, okay? So it came with a lot of strategy, and it came with, hey, I know we are gonna probably have power issues in some of these countries. Let's bring a power bank. I know we need different financial things available in terms of different cards, different international cards. I know that we're gonna have to start learning stocks. I know that our business is gonna have to be off the ground. We had this whole entire checklist and actually ended up serving people, hundreds of people, maybe thousands at this rate now after all of these years, with the same standard operating procedures we used that we notated and developed curriculum around for you and others to live their dream life in Africa. But there's something I forgot to add. We forgot to add this. And if I were you today, I would go back and do this differently. If I were you, this may seem out there, okay? I don't even know if you're gonna relate to it, but I'm gonna just say it, okay? Coming from Ohio, we were very much just Ohio sheltered, not very much throughout the other states, not very big on connections in other states. But now that I'm such an avid traveler due to traveling throughout the Swahili coast, I would have traveled and built connections and networks in California, in Texas, and in Atlanta before leaving. I would have connected with finance entrepreneurs. I would have connected with real estate entrepreneurs. I would have gone to those networking events. I would have been in those spaces. I would have done like a little tour essentially before leaving, not necessarily just to like see the last few monuments I want to see, but I would have gone on more of a strategic network business approach, trying to also be connected to African diaspora who were born in Africa but left Africa decades ago, or had parents that left and were born, so that I could have had these strategic networks open. And then I would have been making connections with different finance people in different banking systems. I just would have been more network oriented, more relationship oriented in that way before leaving. And that's something that if you're still in America, you can do that. You can go on Eventbrite for Columbus, Ohio, for Atlanta, Georgia, for Dallas, Texas, for Harlem, for Miami, Florida, for wherever that you need to do it, and start to create these connections, because relationships and connections are so important in an international mindset and life, okay? Don't you agree? Yeah. That's why I would do different. That's my number one regret. That's something for you to think about. It'll make your move better. That's the one thing. Everything else we did perfect. I think if I could go back, I would do it all exactly the same again. Perfect. But I would add that additional thing as someone that's an international investor, an entrepreneur, and an avid traveler. So let me know what you think of that. Would you be traveling around America to do some networking and to have other connections and to meet people in various areas before making that big leap and not returning? Let me know down below. Shalom, shalom.